What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Day after the defeat at Palace, much clearer headed, I got much more clarity today. Yesterday was a bit of a mad one, wasn't it? But listen, I'm quite proud of the video yesterday because I think a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, it would have been playing on my mind how that video went out. But it's how I was feeling. I watched bits of it back and I wouldn't take anything I said back. I thought it was pretty accurate. So if you haven't seen the match reaction to the Palace game, please go and check that out. As always, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you to Mr. P who sent a super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated in these times. Just another thing as well. I think I'm going to do so. Let me just get this comment here. Bandy. Now, why would you air when I'm watching the chase? I told you about Marsch already. A good man manager, but tactically, he's a fish-eyed fool. He has said that before. The board should go all out for Diego Simeone. End of. Listen, Bandy, I'm not sure if you're aware. Simeone is one of the highest paid managers in the world. In the world. Now, if we're not willing to ship 6 million out on a left back for whoever that may be, I highly doubt Diego Simeone is going to come to Leeds United on the wages we'd offer him. But I love the shout. I do love Diego Simeone. He's the ultimate S-house in the world of football. So I do appreciate that. But he's not leaving Atletico Madrid to come Leeds United at this point. Heel Moxley saying, such a mediocre side. It's sad to watch us at the minute. It's not pleasant. Shout out to you, Jack. Catch me later. No worries. Robbie saying we need to evolve. We are in real trouble if we keep playing the old guard. Nothing against Cooper, Alien, Click, but they ain't cutting the mustard at this level, let alone improvement. Yeah, we'll touch on that as well. Scott Lightning, we are a decent outfit with a couple of gaping holes. Pause. I hear that though. And Scott, this is a great point. Jesse trying to accommodate the characters and leaders in the team instead of form. Cooper, Alien, Rodrigo, and out of form, Bamford and Harrison need benching. And that's something I want to touch on as well. And that goes under the Ruthless umbrella. But shout out to everyone in here so far. Please hit a like on the video. And oh yeah, just you know what? I caught your voice thing earlier, Joe. I know you're in hiding, but yeah, great insights that made me think about those that need the same energy. I need it, Joe. You're the leader of the Cooper gang as well. So shout out to you, man. Back of the net, KG, but can we be ruthless? Sorry, for 75 or 90 minutes. I'm not sure, but there are ways to get there, and we'll talk about that now. First of all, I don't like to do negative things because I believe everyone tries their hardest. But for horror fans out there that really love Jeepers Creepers, I tried to take my mind off the game yesterday and watch Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I would advise you not to do it. I think I'm doing a service for you not wasting your time. Just a bad film overall. And really, if you want to catch Jeepers Creepers, go and watch 1 or 2 again. I don't know what that was yesterday, but Jeepers Creepers Reborn, steer clear. And if you watch it and you come to me and say, listen, I didn't enjoy it, just remember I told you, all right? And good evening. Good evening to everyone. And Lewis, yes, it is a new one. I think the problem for me with it, just quickly, is that I've seen the actor in Hollyoaks before, so I know he's British, and he dips in and out of his British American accent so much, it's very distracting. So yeah, nah, no worries. Gail is saying Jesse's getting outthought by other managers, I'm afraid. Yeah. Back of the net. I was going to watch it too. Any other recommendations need cheering up? I would recommend Smile. That's a brilliant horror film that's just come out. If you can see Smile. And of course, we've got Halloween Ends that comes this week. So for all the horror buffs in the building, we've got some movies coming. It is World Mental Health Day today, which I always find a bit weird with these kind of things. Like Black History Month, that's October, but you know, I'm black in all the other months too. But just as a quick message of World Mental Health Day, because I think it's something that most of us do suffer from. They all say it's good to talk, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's things that get you back into neutral. It's things like listening to your favorite album, watching a movie that you love. Sometimes it's things like that. Sometimes it's gym. So anything that helps you, whether it's writing a message out or whatever it may be, do whatever helps you. And it's always good to get things out in any way that you can. And that is sometimes via gym. Sometimes it is via talking to somebody. But yeah, just it's World Mental Health Day, so I thought I'd just put that out there. Old Git, This name always gets me, man. Evening to you. Evening to you. But yeah, listen. Oh God, and I have to say as well, Enock Mwepu, man, what a talent! Only 24 years old. The Brighton midfielder. He's had to retire due to a hereditary heart condition. That's a shame, man. What a waste of a talent. But that again also shows you just never know what's around the corner in life. In life, you never know what's around the corner. This is a player that I thought would be heading to a top 6 club. He's now out the game. Well, he's going to stay in football in some capacity, but it just shows you just how quickly things can change in your life, man. So yeah, man, I'm so disappointed. I love watching him Mwepu play. He was beautiful baller, man, beautiful. So yeah, man, sad for him, but he's taking it in a positive way according to his goodbye message, and I hope everything goes well for him, man. Sad to see a talent like that out. Listen, Steve Bruce fired by West Brom. Yeah, man. Some of these managers just need to go away. Like Steve Bruce has been literally everywhere. Was tallying it earlier. I mean, he's been to Villa, Birmingham, West Brom, Newcastle, Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, Huddersfield. I mean, he doesn't mind rivalries, man. He's just like, whoever's going to pay me, Hull City too. Whoever's going to pay me, I'm going. But it's time for him to go. I mean, West Brom at the moment in the Championship, bottom 3. Could never be bottom 3 with the team that they've got, but they've made the move. You know what I mean? So just had to get that out there, man. It's just funny, isn't it? Chris Wilder, Steve Bruce, these kind of managers, it's not looking good for them, man. It's not looking good. Right, back to the schedule, yeah? Old Git, need to introduce young players into the starting lineup, not 10 minutes at the end of the game. Beautiful point, Old Git. No, I'll never get tired of saying your name. I just won't. But Old Git is correct. Joe Gilhart got charity minutes yesterday when Joe Gilhart, for me, should be starting ahead of Rodrigo. And this is a theme throughout our team at the minute. The best players that we've got are the new guys and some of the most talented guys that we had from the other era who were developing, like Melier, like Pascal Strauch. But the problem is you're going to always hold them back when you've got some of the old guard in there that are just not good enough. And I know that promises were probably made to players like Matthijs Klick in terms of, listen, you're not going to be a starter, but we'll try and get you one for half an hour here and there. But apart from the one game with Matthijs Klick, what has he done good in his cameo? This is the thing for me. People used to say, yeah, but Klick, Cooper, Ayling, it's all depth. It is depth, but it's not quality in depth. That's the issue that we've got. And that is the big difference. And we're going to talk about recruitment a little bit today because I've had messages and things like that and comments talking about our recruitment. I have tried to go along the lines of just going with what we've got and talking about that, but we will touch on it on this one today. We will touch on it. Jesse Marsch, for me, I accuse our previous manager of it, so I've got to keep the same energy, and I will. He's trying to make good with some of the old players that we've got here, some of the leaders in the camp. Whenever I hear stuff like that with our team, especially, it always makes me shiver a little bit. Always makes me shiver because you can have leaders, but it doesn't mean they're always good. I'm sure Lee Cattermole was a leader at Sunderland at some point, but you wouldn't look at him and go, oh, yeah, let's look to Lee Cattermole. You look to your best players. And for me, we're not putting out our best players all the time. Gilhart should be ahead of Rodrigo for me. But I've been consistent with that. Bamford is rusty, but he's probably the best that we've got in terms of a out-and-out striker until we see Perkins get a chance. But I want to see that too. I want to see Perkins. I want to see Nanto, who's starting games for Italy, but can't even get a sub appearance here. Instead of getting Ayling and Klick on, you've got to be getting in these youngsters. And this was the problem as well. We're talking about recruitment. We talk about recruitment, and this is what I was talking about in terms of Rucker and Adams. Me feeling very comfortable when both of those two are on the pitch. But then if one of them go missing, much like where that room was floating about yesterday, that Adams was out, I was like, nah, this is it then. We're going to get hammered. That's the difference that we've currently got in our squad. The drop-off is too big. And how many times have I said that? You're probably thinking, is this a new video or is this a replay? I've said it so many times. The drop-off is too huge. For sure. I mean, and we'll roll this in with Jesse Marsch's subs as well. Bringing on Forshaw when we're 1-0 down at Brighton. For what? What is that going to do for us? Is Forshaw going to give us a key pass? No. Is he going to come up with a goal? No. What is he going to do for us when we're 1-0 down and when we need to get back into the game? This is the problem. And then we've got like JB in there. JB, for me, could be one of our real rough, diamonds in the rough, where we're looking at him going, wow, I'm so glad we got this player for £5 million. He's tremendous. Other clubs should be looking at him and thinking, why didn't we get him? But we don't know yet because we haven't seen him. And my thing is, the youngsters that are at the top end, I'm talking about the top end youngsters, not just any old youngsters. I want to see them get chances, because it can't be any worse than what we've currently got, or some of the old guard give us. It can't be any worse. Gordon White here, Nanto with terrified defenders. He'd give them something to think about. He'd give them much more to think about than some of the other players that we keep bringing on. He's a live wire. He's unpredictable at this point. He's unknown, which is the best thing. But he's starting for Italy, so how can he not get any game time for us at the moment? I know that in the first game that he was available, there's circumstances with the red card for Sinistera, so I understand that. But against Palace, I think we could have probably done with him. And this is it, Sam. Forshaw wouldn't start for Huddersfield, let alone be in our squad. How many times have I said to you on this channel, if you saw Adam Forshaw starting for Bristol City or on the bench for Bristol City, you'd understand. But instead, we are keeping him here at Leeds United in the Premier League in our third season back. Again, not good enough. Dow, KG, would you take Chadams now or now? Nah, I wouldn't. No. And it's, you know what it is as well. It's not depressing. It's so wild, because you're looking at Man City with Erling Haaland, who's got 20 goals in 9 games. And like every other team in the league is scratching around, who could get us 20 goals? Who could get us 20 goals? And they've just got one that's hit in like 9 games. It's all mad. But no, for me, Shea Adams, no. Because again, Patrick Bamford isn't the blueprint for me in terms of a striker. He's not a blueprint in terms of what I look at and go, I want another Patrick Bamford. Because so far what we've seen this season, just going this season, not talking about previous, has been shocking. I mean, we're talking about yesterday, the timid way he shoots sometimes. The Brentford one, where it's easier to slide it in, but he manages to pass it back. The amount of times he hits it with the side of the foot and it goes just past the post. How many times have we seen that one? For me, Patrick Bamford is no blueprint where I look at it and go, oh, I want another one of him. No, I want something different. I was on about Patson Daka in the summer. I would love to have got him. He seems to be finding his foot for Leicester right now. I talked about Skamaka. Not a lot of people knew about him, but I said Skamaka might be decent in the Prem. He seems to be hitting the ground running for West Ham now. Those are the kind of strikers I'm looking at. I'm looking for killers. I'm not looking for people that can just hold up the ball and do this and that. I need you to put the chances away when we get them. Because yet again, yesterday, it was important for us. Something I said to you in the preview, 25 minutes. We're probably going to get 25 minutes at best on top. We did that. And we should have capitalized. Bamford puts that away. It's 2-0 and it's a very different game. But yet, 2 minutes later, we get an unforced error from our protector and leader at the back. He brings so much calm to the back line, as people keep telling me. He gives away a needless free kick and it's 1-1. That's how quickly it changes in the Prem. Those are the margins that you're looking for, the margins of quality that you're looking for. Rucker and Adams at the minute, and in games as well, Aronson, they're holding this up. They're holding us up right now. It's concerning for me. And yesterday's video was a culmination for me of just all the results that we've had against teams that we should have picked up 3 points in at least one of those games, and it didn't happen. So then I start to think, well, where is the 3 points coming from? If we can't beat Everton, if we can't go to Brighton and give them a better game, if we lose in a 2-0 lead at Southampton, and then yesterday with Palace not even getting a draw after such a good start, and again, style of play, we talk about that. The first 20 minutes was actually really good. It was measured. It wasn't frantic. It wasn't, new metal, heavy metal football, if you like. It was actually quite measured, and you could tell the Palace fans were getting on top of their own players. We were controlling the ball. We were the ones making all the good moves going forward, winning the ball back high up. We were keeping the ball away from that left centre back. And I'm not being horrible. That's exactly what was happening because I was thinking it at the time. Christensen was doing his job on Zaha. Robin Koch was doing amazing stuff in defence. 2 brilliant interceptions. Everything was looking good. Harrison had a key pass to Bamford that he just completely miscontrolled. We were looking really good. But then once we can see people, it just seems to go all over the gaff again. All the passing sequences just stop coming together. And the confidence just looks gone. As soon as we concede a goal, the confidence just seems to drain out of people. Gordon White, do you think Jesse will make it till the end of the season? This is up to Jesse now. He has to now put his foot down and say to the old guard, you are my last resort. Papa Roach style. You're my last resort. That is it now. We can't. I've told you this before, but the lineups for me determine my score prediction. So if I see certain players in there, and there's been a few of you that have been asking in the same lineup to have Ayling, Cooper, and Click in it to start. If we do that, I'm probably predicting a loss for that game. That's how small the margins are. But Jesse, this is on Jesse. Gordon, you want to know if he's going to make it to the end of the season? This is up to him. He has to start making decisions now and putting the team first and not seniority. That's got to go out the window. I said it with the previous manager too, and I thought Jesse was going there, but he seems to be reverting back to that again. It's not good enough for me. The substitutions have to make sense too. They're not making a sense in a lot of games, which is why I think the Wolves game stood out so much because everything seemed to work. But in the majority of the games, it's not working. And again, he's not going to get the rope that Bielsa got because there's no real attachment to Jesse Marsch, unfortunately. There's no, unfortunately for him, there's no real attachment to him. So he has to get results. People don't care about his quotes and things he says in press conferences anymore. They want to see results. They don't care about what you think about time wasting. They want to see you use your tactical nous and get results in games. And at the moment, we're not seeing that. So it's up to him. It really is. But he's missed a brilliant opportunity to get a bunch of points. Think about it this way. Palace have had a real tough run-in, which is why they only had 1 win on the board. Now they find themselves, level on points with us, and we've had a much, much easier run-in. Things even out, and unfortunately, that probably means Palace are going to jump ahead and we're going to continue to slide down at this rate. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think in regards to that. Let me know. 3 against 4. Thank you for the super chat. There's no message, but thank you so much for the support. Leeds is saying JM will not survive the season. He has no plan B. He's so reliant on his championship players. Seniority will get you nowhere in the Prem. It gets you absolutely zero. It gets you nothing but mid-table mediocrity and a relegation battle. That's what it gets you. Just ask Crystal Palace under Roy Hodgson with those dead ballers. Newcastle with Mike Ashley not investing in the squad. That's what it gets you, unfortunately. Alex saying Palace are poor too. I don't think Palace are poor. I think they've got a decent squad. I think they are mid-table though. They are the definition of mid-table for me. But I think they'll probably finish above us this season. Vlad is saying KG Marsch will be hard to sack because we are trying to get the USA market and we have USA investors. That's not our concern. Because the fact is, if we go down like we almost did last season, all of those guys will pull out and go to the next new toy. Like we can't think of things like that. You have to look after the club. This is why I always get a lot of stick as well. I look out for the club first over players and things that players have done. You know, it's like, what have you done for me lately? That's how it is in life, isn't it? You know, you could have been a great husband 10 years ago, but are you a good husband now? It's what have you done for me lately? St. Helens White's kidding ourselves for years that we had a goal scorer in Bamford. Bamford does a lot of good things, St. Helens White. He really does. But I'm a striker. I'm a guy that loves a striker. So if you're not scoring goals, all that other stuff just becomes ancillary to me. I need your primary focus to be putting that ball in the back of the net. CJW, board not learned lessons from last season and miracles expected from youngsters. Yeah, CJW, but the thing is they have to play them. Like, there's no point having Gyabi, JB, and Perkins doing all this stuff without giving them a chance. And yes, the step up from under 21s to first team is massive, but they have to be given the opportunity because we look at Rodrigo again. Did he even play yesterday, people? Did you see him? Did you see him yesterday? We're back to square one with Rodrigo, and a lot of you asked me to do the remontada for him. I wasn't going to do it again. It's just the same story yet again. We need to see what these guys are capable of. We never know. Sonny Perkins could be that finisher that we need when we get those few opportunities in the game to put them away. He could be that finisher. JB could be the one that gives Rucker and Adams a second thought to think, hey, maybe my spot's not secure. That's my problem. We didn't recruit enough to make people think that their spots weren't secure. You have to have competition like that in the team. Otherwise, people get comfortable. Now, Rucker and Adams are doing brilliantly right now. But they've literally, if there's an injury, they know that they'll be coming back in straight away. No problem. Yeah, Michael S. Harrison has dropped off also. He has. It's fine margin, isn't it? I know it's all ifs and buts, but if Bamford can control his make his touch a bit better and shoot with a bit of vigor, he probably gets an assist yesterday. But yeah, I know that's all ifs and buts. But he has in overall play, he has dropped off. But again, that's because we don't have a natural left back for him to work with. Part of the reason, anyway, which comes back to recruitment. Now, Strout, like I say, Strout did brilliantly yesterday. He did. But we needed a natural left back. And yet again, we get a message after the game that Firpo's hurt again. I mean, just forget it then. Just forget about it. Let's look for a new left back. But they weren't interested. They saw Strout do well in a couple of the preseason games and thought, we don't need to strengthen there. We're going to use Pascal. It all comes back to recruitment, but I've been banging this drum for a couple of years. I remember when the first did it, a lot of people didn't want to hear it. They thought that the promoted guard could get us to Europe and all that stuff, a romantic story. I know it would have been nice and romantic, but it was just never going to happen. Never going to happen. And now we're in a position where our subs aren't really making much of a difference. Somerville not really doing much at the minute. He looks like he's always desperate to impress when he comes on. I get it. He's trying to win a first team place, but he's doing a little bit too much at times. Mateus Click had that one decent cameo. Haven't seen nothing since. Luke Ayling is not somebody I want to see come off the bench to try and make a difference in the game. But yet, here he is. And I know he did that. He had a nice little cameo versus Brentford. And people seem to be hanging their hat on that. But let's see how many more we get from him. Because at the moment, Rasmus has got the shirt. And thankfully, Rasmus has come to form now. Last two games, he's been very, very good. Especially yesterday. That was his best game. It's just tough, man. It's tough for me. It's just tough at the moment to see where our next win is coming from. I know we got Fulham at home. But if we don't win that, what are we saying then? That's when you have to really think, well, if you can't put away Fulham at home, are you the right person for the job? That's why for me now, at this point for Jesse Marsch, he needs to be ruthless. When he did his press conferences last year, he was talking about buying 2 strikers. The question was straight after Bamford as well, when he wasn't sure if he was fit or not. He was on about getting 2 forwards. I need him to show this ruthlessness again. Again, as well with Jesse Marsch, he's had to backtrack a few of his statements because obviously he's had a word from the board saying, "Hey, you can't say this." We've seen it a couple of times. He's got to be careful because otherwise he's going to pay for it with his job. Snoop Huggy, why is it taking Bamford 8 months to regain match fitness? Something's not right. They know it's with him as well. Mentally, he probably doesn't trust his body, which is why he got taken off in that game after 26 minutes. If you remember, he probably doesn't trust himself fully yet. But again, I mean, how many times have we heard in the game that he's on 99 league goals? I swear I've been hearing that for like months now. He's on 99 league goals. It's like, yeah, I know, but exactly, this is where we are, people. Sean saying rather play Llorente than Cooper. The guy's a liability. Yeah, but as many people say, it would have probably been better to invest in a centre back. But if we weren't going to invest in a left back or a real striker, we was never going to look at another centre back. But I agree with the squad that we've got currently right now. I will take Llorente's faults over Cooper's for me. I will do that. AFV blame it on everything but the board. I don't know if that's to me, but I think this is something that does confuse me sometimes as well. When you're talking, I mean, I had one yesterday saying, "Why did Cooper and Bamford get all the stick?" I didn't give them all the stick. I clearly didn't as well. But it's like as soon as you mention some people's favorites, they just shut off from everything else that you're hearing. It's a really weird thing on YouTube. Really mad. 3 versus 4 with another super chat. Thank you so much. Do we think there is enough talent for a turnaround under a different manager? Marsch dedicated to a system needs to adjust to suit his players, in my opinion. Well, I thought this about Bielsa. That was one concern I had about getting rid of Bielsa, where I just wasn't sure who else could get something out of the crop of players that he got so much out of, and he really did. He got so much. It was some of the best football we ever seen. And I was just worried that maybe another manager couldn't come in and give them the confidence that he obviously gave them. But I think with any competent coach, you can do with some. I mean, we haven't got a bad squad overall. No, a bad first 11, I should say. But there is more you could be doing with it. And I think he needs to work that out before it's too late. Because I do like Jesse Marsch. I like how he comes across. But it's your actions for me. Your actions speak louder than words. I think that's something in life in general, isn't it? Your actions speak louder than words. And at the moment, the actions aren't there. The actions are we've got 2 points from 5 games that were very, very favourable. Thank you though for the super chat, man. We just Darren can't play Cooper next game. Rather play UKG centre back. Now you don't want that problems, man. I'm terrible at defending. I'll be pulling everyone back. I am like Liam Cooper. Oh man. Ted here saying Leeds are being run like a cheapskate business looking to be acquired. Let's spend the least amount to stay in the Premier League and wait for a buyout, all about money. That's how it feels right now. And it just feels with these Cody Gakpo rumors as well, by the way. It just feels like it's like a carrot. They're trying to, like, somebody is trying to dangle a carrot and say, look, this is what we could have in a couple months. Just wait, just wait. Cody Gakpo's not coming to Leeds United. Like, how? How is that even going to happen? Why is he going to leave PSV in mid-season to come to Leeds United, who are probably going to be in the bottom half? Well, who will be in the bottom half of the league? It's really weird. It's, for me, that's some kind of propaganda that somebody's leaked out, a little nugget that somebody's leaked out just to keep the fans on side of saying, "Oh, look, we're going for Cody Gakpo." I believe it when I see it. But I've got to say, I've been very different in terms of like the last few windows. If you've been a long-term subscriber, I always said we've got to do something. I'm sure the board are looking at something to do. I'm the complete opposite this January, people. And at this point in time, I don't expect much business to be done. If anything, I just don't see it. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. Smudge, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Future superstars do not follow the normal rules of development. Let Perkins and Nanto loose like they did with Rooney and others in the past. And yeah, Smudge, you're on the money. And much like us, we did it. I know I hark back to the 99 2000. If you've got that on your bingo card, cross it off. But we did that too. We unleashed a whole lot of youngsters on the Premier League and did absolutely brilliantly. But if you want to move it into current times, Southampton have blooded in a couple of youngsters, Lavia, new and a new German centre back as well. That's coming to the team that probably replaced Robin Koch in the last squad, by the way. It is possible. Broja got his first goal the other day for Chelsea, who they've taken back, not sending him out on loan again. We need to let our boys loose as well. And for more than whatever it was, 8 minutes that Gelhardt got. And again, a lot of people forgetting what Gelhardt did for us last season. He gave us big moments. He earned us big points. We talk about Rafinha being a big catalyst of why we stayed up. Gelhardt was in there too when we were struggling against teams like Norwich. I mean, but listen, I'm with you, and that's what I mean. I want to see our better youngsters in the team ahead of the old guard. I don't care what you promised Mateus Click. Mateus Click should have took the opportunity and left the club, but he was never going to do it. Never going to do it. And I said it at the time. He was too comfortable. Like a lot of these players, some of them can't believe they're in the Prem. Too comfortable here. Never going to leave at all. So yeah, it is what it is. When you've got a player that's possibly better like JB, play him. Play him. Let's see. What's the worst that can happen? He comes on and doesn't do anything. Well, he hasn't done anything worse than Forshaw did before, or what Click has done since the one game he did really do well in his cameo. Leeds saying we play 100 miles per hour with no cohesion, can't string two passes together or hold up the ball for more than 60 seconds. Yeah, the ball's like a hot potato sometimes. I look at like players like Harrison and even Harrison sometimes. It's like, let me see who I can get this ball to quickly. We do need to slow it down sometimes, which is what Rucker and Adams are good at doing. But once it leaves those two, woohoo, that ball's like a hot potato. But that's what I'm saying, people. If you look at the first 20 minutes, if you can bear to watch that game again, we were really good with it against Crystal Palace. We were really composed. But then the goal goes in, head's gone. All of it. And yeah, and I get this comment as well. I just want to address this in saying that, well, if you predicted 16th, then these are the results that you should expect. I predict 16th because I'm going by what the of what the squad is telling me. But you want your team to do better than that. I don't want to come on here every week and say, "Oh, see, look, see, I told you we'd be close to 16th." I want them to prove me wrong and say, "What, you thought that we was only as good as 16th? Well, screw you and everyone else that thinks like you." I want them to do that. I would love to be wrong. There's no pride in doing this, especially turning on the camera and talking about football when your team's not winning. Trust me, people, it's not fun. It is not fun. So when I'm saying these are results that do align with 16th, it's true, but I want them to do better. I'm willing them on to do better, but it's not happening right now. Dow saying Gelhardt is good off the bench versus tired opponents. Looks very ordinary as a starter. I mean, you can say that, Dow, but if it wasn't, I think he started the game against Brighton. Yes, he did, because he wasn't getting much joy against Dunk in the first half. But if it's not for him in the 94th minute, we don't get that lovely piece of skill that he produced over Dunk and Pascal Strout heading it in for a 1-1 draw at that stage of the season. So I hear what you're saying, but he's been more effective than some of our other players. Chris Book, fair point. JB is the new Lewis Bate, and look how that worked out. I will still hold on. I will still maintain Lewis Bate wouldn't have been any worse than our two other midfielders last year, because they're not Premier League quality anyway. Not a chance. I'm interested to hear if Adam Forshaw wasn't given a new contract, where do you think he would have ended up? Do you think another Premier League team would have picked him up? Interesting, isn't it? But yeah, Lewis Bate is currently out on loan. But you know, JB does look. He's got something about him, man. But we won't know until he's unleashed. Ian J with a super sticker. Thank you so much, Ian. Shout out to you from Australia. Yeah, that's what I've seen as well, Jack. JB does more with the ball than any of the old guard. He does. But and the thing is, though, Jack, that is not a hard bar to clear. That's the most horrible thing. And I don't mean to sound mean, but it's I've just got to say how it is. Leeds saying after 3 seasons, how can we say we want 16th? I love my club, but I have no confidence based on current form that we will not be even close to getting higher than 16th. I know it sucks. It sucks, and I wish we was in a much better position. But again, going back to recruitment, that's what good recruitment gives you. It gives you more of It gives you a more optimistic outlook. It makes you believe that you can go into games against people like Palace and think we're going to get 3 points instead of going, this could go either way. A 1-1 draw would be lovely. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that, people. I wish I could just go out and say we're going to win all these games, but I can't do it because of the quality in the squad. But that's what it does. And you just think if you get a left back in, a competent left back, and there was so many available for cheap as well. You didn't have to break the bank on a left back this summer. That gives you a bit of confidence. You get a real forward in. That gives you more confidence. But we didn't do it. So yeah. Chalmans is asking, can Drama play left back and then strike centre back with Cock? I don't know. I don't know, Chalmans. But again, what we're then veering into is the old square pegs round hole territory yet again, when we should have left that behind. So whether he can play left back or not, I would prefer to see him try and cement himself as a right back more than a left back. I would rather have the balance of somebody who's a left footer on the left back, unless they're bloody João Cancelo, one of them. But unless there's someone like that, I want a left footer out there. But again, square pegs round hole, and then we go into this. It's just crap, isn't it? It's so poor. So poor. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll be back later in the week to preview the Arsenal game, which, oh boy, word to Sam Beckett. What you're saying for the Arsenal game could get embarrassing if we don't get our act together. And this is it as well. Jesse Marsch, going back to him, because he is the main talking point here. He has to make adjustments. If we have to go 3 at the back against Arsenal, do it. I don't care. I don't care if it's fossil football. You've got to do it. You've got to hold out against a team like Arsenal, who are absolutely fluid right now, as much as I hate to say it, because it's been unbearable watching AFTV lately. I've got to be honest. I can barely click on it without seeing them smiling, but they're playing some really good football right now. And I just look at the way we're defending right now. They might carve us up worse than when we played that COVID game. It might be worse than them. Vic Vinegar. I wish this was an option. I don't think I'm even going to watch an Arsenal game. I hear you, though. I absolutely hear you. Ibrima, big up, bro. Love from Italy. Yeah, man. Shout out to everyone. Morning, noon, evening. Thank you for joining me. Over 250 of you in here. Lovely numbers. Thank you so much. Please hit a like on the video, and that's the best way to help the channel. And if you're watching the replay, hit the like also. Please do that for me. Okay, Leeds is saying Marsch has no experience in the Prem, and it's showing with his poor tactics, subs having zero impact on games. Absolutely shocking. The thing is, though, Leeds, this goes back to my whole thing of that Prem proven thing that I absolutely detest. Jesse Marsch is just like a Pep Guardiola. Oh, God. Don't clip that up. But Pep Guardiola didn't have any Premier League experience before, and look what he's done. Look at other managers that have come in from other leagues and have taken a league by storm. Arsene Wenger changed the culture in England, in football in general, when he came into Arsenal. So it's not always about having Prem experience. We can have Prem experience if you want it. Steve Bruce is available. He's available. Big Sam, he's doing around. Have Sean Dyche. You can have Sean Dyche. If you want some of those, what I mean? Prem experience is there and free. But you be careful what you wish for. Now I know, yeah. Lewis. I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, ugh, that didn't sound right. But you know what I meant, right? You know what I meant. Please put context to it. AFV, Rads is the best of a bad bunch, which doesn't say much. The thing is, I think Radrizzani is doing the best he can. But I'm using this with a star next to it. If he is selling the club next summer. If he's still here next season, then I'm not sure what he's doing, because if you got to think of it yourself. Let's think you're the money man at Leeds United, and you've got a potential sale coming. You think you're going to be good enough? Your squad's good enough to stay in the league. Are you really going to shell out 20 or 15 to 20 million on a player when you're probably not going to get that back? Are you going to do that? Probably not. But if he is still here next season and we've done this kind of business, then you do have to question it. But I think he's been brilliant for us so far. I do. I'm not going to completely blast him, but you're just wondering what the end game is. If the end game is for us just to be a 14th, 15th, 16th Premier League team, then this is as good as it's going to get for us, people. This is as good as it's going to get. Yeah, just I'm getting into your comments. I'm always reading your comments and everything else like that. Please keep putting them in there. Would you take a more solid manager if Marsch was to be sacked? Does this style of play work with an average squad? Well, listen, Bielsa did wonders with an average squad once upon a time. So I do believe it's possible if you're the right coach. And for me, yes, I would take a solid manager. Everyone on here, if you know me, if you follow me on Instagram, know how much I love King Jose Mourinho. I would absolutely love a guy like that. Bandy unrealistically said Diego Simeone, but sometimes you've got to go back to those kind of basics where you're just shutting down the traps and hoping to hit people on the break. You know, Antonio Conte is currently doing it now, obviously with a much more talented front line than we've got. But Conte is currently doing that right now with Spurs, and Spurs are doing all right. So yeah, I love entertaining football right now. I do love entertaining football. You know me. I mean, somebody even said if I ever picked an 11, there'd be no defenders. But I love entertaining football. But I've got to go with the personnel we've got right now, and probably being a bit more compact would probably suit this team better. I don't know. We'll see. Mickey D, I would love the Potch. Yeah, Potch ain't coming here. I'm afraid Potch is looking for the next big job that comes available. Yeah, Ben, that's where I am. This is as good as it will get with Rads in charge because he doesn't have what is needed to progress further. I'm with you there. I'm absolutely with you there. Mark Walker, 6-1. I think we're at home though, Mark. I think we're at home. So does that change your prediction at all? But we'll do predictions on the show later this week. Um, and yeah, just something else as well in terms of where we are in the league and where we could finish up. My worry is that we're going to end up in a position next summer where our better players, and it's clear who they are, no matter if you're trying to cape for the promoted guard or not. Our better players right now are the Sinistera, Rucker, Adams, Aronsons, and they will have eyes on them. Just natural, always eyes on Leeds United players all the time. My worry is that we finish somewhere in the mid in 15th, 16th, and we're going to have people sniffing around these players again. And will we be able to keep them? I'm not sure. Especially as if some of you are saying Jesse Marsch isn't here as well. Even though I know that they say they didn't sign just because of Jesse Marsch, I think that may have had a little bit of a role. But I just wonder if we keep on finishing 15th, 16th, we don't go under the radar like a lot of teams where they just get to keep their players. You know, we don't go under the radar. We've got a huge viewership around the world. When Leeds are playing, people watch. When people play Leeds, they want to do their best. It's just the way it is. So when you're seeing Adams constantly getting big ups every week, when you see Mark Rucker go, oh, I can see why he was at Bayern. Maybe he would do well at our place. When you see Brendan Aronson with the energy, with the footwork as well, it's just worrying that if we keep on finishing in these positions, we're always going to get pillaged for our better players, and we're just going to get left with the dearth. And I'll go back to it again. We talk about recruitment. If some of our old guard were as good as people say they are, why did we not see one single rumor? I mean, just a rumor. Someone make up a rumor, start a rumor somewhere of one of them leaving. Never saw it once. The closest we got was Mateus Click threatening to, not threatening to leave, but possibly going because he wouldn't be starting games. That's as close as we got. It's it. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's just at a loss, just at a loss. I just hope that we can just go into games with a bit more positive mindset, not get pegged back by conceding a goal and just losing all our focus and what brought us to the dance. Happy Kilmore, we are the last of the one city clubs with great fans and could be a gold mine, KG, 100%. Because Rads and the 49ers have majority of the shares now. We are hard to buy for big investors as they can ask for mad prices. Happy Kilmore, this is something that I've said, and I still don't understand how a big wealthy backer hasn't invested in Leeds United. It, like you said, it's a gold mine. Look at the shirt sales. No matter how many people online complain about the shirts, we are still one of the biggest sales in the Premier League. And even when we was in the Championship, that was the case. There's near enough a full house every week with room to expand that. There's countless memberships that get sold, even though no one's guaranteed a ticket. Guys, Leeds United is a gold mine for an investor, much like Newcastle was. Big football fan base up there. It just I don't get how an investor hasn't come and seen Leeds United and think this is the next big thing for us. Hopefully that will happen at some point. But you're right. As long as these two have a majority of the shares, it's going to be difficult. But there's always room for a big investor to invest in a Premier League club the size of Leeds United. It's waiting to happen. It's waiting to happen. We need to bring. The thing is as well with me. If we was doing really well, I'd be insufferable. And I would hope that all of you would be insufferable with me. But right now, we have to just look at things and go, where's our next 3 points coming from? So that's the question that I've got for you today. Let me just quickly go through the fixtures one more time for the month of October. So we've got Arsenal next, easy 3 points. And then we've got Leicester next week. Fulham at home after Leicester, and then we end with the month with Liverpool away. Now, I'm looking at the Leicester away and saying that's probably our next best bet of getting 3 points. That's probably our next best bet, because Leicester's only real impressive performance so far for me this season is against Forest, and at the moment, Forest are the whipping boys. They're the whipping boys of the league right now. And I'm looking forward to that Forest Villa game later, actually. But yeah, Leicester away should be one, but we know what's probably going to happen here. Probably. But I do believe, Arsenal, we're not expected to get anything. Let's be real. But if we don't get 3 points out of either Leicester or Fulham, then I do believe questions will be asked. Have to believe it. Once again, I have to make it clear, I've got nothing against Jesse Marsch. It's just that he doesn't have the same amount of rope that the previous manager did. I don't think anyone ever will again. That's a rare thing in football where the manager gets so much rope from a lot of people. Not everyone. I know there's a lot of people that were saying Bielsa should have been gone long before I said it. I'm aware. I know you're out there, okay? But I'm just saying, in terms of football management these days, and with the riches that are offered in the Premier League, it's very, very rare that a manager gets so much time, especially with the fixtures we got. You have to put it into context. The fixtures that we've had haven't been good enough. And if we don't get a win out of Leicester or Fulham, I just don't see. The question has to be asked at that point. What are people saying about that? Mental Yorkie saying Marsch coming to a test of his character now. Yeah, this huge test. Dow saying we are still undefeated at home. Keep that up, or we close to it, and we stay up. Well, big test this weekend, Dow. Arsenal at home, huge test. Leeds is saying, let's be serious. Which clubs look at our players and think he's a threat? Can't think of any. Well, I disagree with that. I think they look at Sinisterra and think he's a threat. And he'll be back for this week, thankfully. I do think they look at Brendan Aronson because Brendan Aronson's been getting doubled up on. So obviously, managers have singled him out as a focal point of where they need to stop our pressing from the front. So that we do have a few leads. It's not as many as I would like, but we do have a couple. Just a couple, though. Yeah, Jack, that's the point. Leicester can't defend, but they can score. We can't do either. I get it. But if we're not looking at a game in the form Leicester have been in overall and thinking that we should get 3 points, then we might as well just pack it up. You know what I mean? We might as well just pack it up. And that's where we are, I'm afraid. It sucks. I know it sucks, but that's where we are, just the reality of it. Yeah, Juan Cini, he's back. It was only a 1-game ban. He is absolutely back. Matt Davis, no points from Fulham or Leicester, and I will be touching cloth. What does that mean? Is it? Let me know. Is that some kind of, is that a local saying or something? Let me know. Mental Yorkie, it's not alarm bells. We are still okay. I'm with you, Mental Yorkie. I'm not in the mind frame that we're going to get relegated. I'm just not there yet. I'll always let you know when I'm there. But we have to improve. We have to get better and get 3 points on the board as soon as possible. That we can't leave it too long. Jesse was on about yesterday. If we can't let a winless run set in, it's already there, Jesse. It's already there. We are in a winless run right now, so we need to break it as soon as possible. Yeah, AFV. That's a lesson that they've got to learn themselves. The board, yeah. If Marsch gets sacked, it will be after the January transfer window. Standard Leeds. Great point. Oh, touching cloth turtle head. Okay, yeah. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, Vlad. Like the video, guys. Let's get our man Cage on the right side of those YouTube algorithms. Please do that, please. Lewis is saying make Aronson play a false nine. I actually like Aronson out on the right so far for us. He mentioned himself in a podcast that he thinks he's better as an 8, but so far for us, he's been better on the right. So I would say keep him on the right for now, and maybe start Gelhardt in that attacking midfield area. Give him a couple starts. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Matt Davis, funny how the landscape can dramatically change if we get 3 unlikely points versus Arsenal. Here's to dreaming. Yeah, it would. I mean, we'd be on cloud 9 if we beat Arsenal at this stage. What Arsenal have done so far, and I hate to give them credit because of some of the people I know, but they've been fantastic. They've been outstanding. They've been outstanding. One defeat against Man United, okay, but other than that, they've been really, really good. Fluid as well. That's the thing that makes me worried. The fluidity of their football. They're just so smooth right now. Xhaka's like a new player for them, and he's been one of the most maligned players they've had in years. Now he's got a song. Xhaka's got a song. That's how good Arsenal have been. So yeah, we'll take our time and think about it and come back with a preview, and we'll give our score predictions then. Until then, let's just try and keep it on the back of our heads for a bit. But yeah, mental Yorkie, it's correct. I think Arsenal is a great game to make a statement. It is. It is a great game. Every game is a great game to make a statement. That's what the Premier League is. You know, I've had my thing with people saying that it's that other leagues, a Farmers League and the Premier League, is this best in the world thing. When we all categorically say that Man City are going to walk the league, that sounds like a Farmers League. But then when you look at it, you would think that our 10th best team in the league could probably beat, Scottish League's third or second first team. Shout out to Rangers and Celtic. I know, but that's what I mean. Every game is an opportunity in the Premier League. Every game you should be looking at and thinking, this is our biggest game. This is it. This is our biggest game. But I just don't get that feeling right now. Yeah, Pellegrino. Yeah, where was our fluidity? I don't know where it is. I'm sorry. Don't know. I don't know. South London's fine. Shout out to you, man. Your backline versus our front three is going to be peak. Can't lie. Big up Leeds, though. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. South London's finest. I'm really not. But I'm going to put that one to the back of my mind for now and come back to it later in the week. Shout out to you again, Smudge. Thank you for the support, man. Every bit helps the channel and heating prices these days. You know what I mean? Nothing to lose. Then let's play the young guns. Gelhardt, Cine, Nanto, Perkins really puzzle the Gunners. I'm not against any of that, Smudge. I'm really not. I'm all for it. The only thing is, where do you who are you dropping? Are you then dropping both Rodrigo and Bamford? Don't put it in Super Chat. Just put it in the chat. I'll look for it. But to accommodate Nanto, Perkins, and Gelhardt, well, does that mean Harrison get dropped as well? It's not a bad shout. Let me know. Let me know. Marsch is Matt Davis saying Marsch is sounding more like a preacher than a football manager. Lots of love, but not a lot of substance. That's the problem, isn't it? The words always sound good when you're doing well, but once the results aren't coming, they start to just sound like words. I mean, I saw Robin Cox post today in regards to keep on working, and we're working to our win. And the thing that just came in my head straight away, because I'm a bit insane, is Ronan Keating singing "It's Only Words" from Boyzone. That's what came in my head. I said, "It's only words. I don't want to see words. I want to see actions." Dow saying Adams will have to earn every bit of his contract versus Arsenal. He's the only player that we've got that can consistently breaks up opponents' attacks. Brilliant. I've got nothing but good words for Tyler Adams. Honest to God, I think he's going to be one that a lot of teams will be looking at in the summer if they've gone by what he's been doing so far. Just been tremendous, and he's been good passing forward as well. That pass forward to Bamford yesterday was on the money, man. It was just crying to be buried. But yeah, Tyler Adams for me, wonderful. Yeah, Bully G, it's only words, Boyzone. That's the song I'm talking about. That's what I saw as soon as I saw Robin Cox's post. I was like, oh my god, it's only words. You know, one of them. So yeah, Bully B, you got it. Oh man. Yeah, Simon Flynn, he has a tremendous attitude as Adams. And that's something I said as well in his signing video. I wasn't sure if he was going to give us much forward play, but he'd always give you 100%, and he had an in-game intelligence as well, and he's got that, and he does. He has a tremendous attitude. For me, what really got me from him from the start was when he said, "I'm not here to be Calvin Phillips. I'm here to be Tyler Adams." Love that. Absolutely love it. Let's have a look. Let's get this here. Pedrino with a bit of a formation here. Let's have a look. Melier in goal. Defense, Cock, Strauch, Yelder. Yelder's out injured though. That's the problem. But I hear you. Midfield, Rasmus, Adams, Rucker, Harrison. Forward three, Aronson, Rodrigo, Sinistera. All youth on the bench. Rodrigo, yeah, I see the name and I was like, but I hear you, man. Tommy G, didn't know you could sing. Man, listen, the shower knows my best notes. Man, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? Pause. The shower hears the best notes. All right. Brian C. Next 3 games, how many points would you be happy with? Happy? 9. Realistically happy? I would love to get 6. Leicester away and Fulham at home in the Prem. 6, but if we're really having to scratch for the bare minimum, 4. And that is the bare minimum. That I've just given you the 3 scenarios there. That's the bare minimum 4. If it's just a point or even worse 0, then it's a whole different conversation. DLR Fabrications, Rucker is always pulling his weight in my eyes, and Ailing always impacts the game when he comes on. Okay, well, we'll deal with the first part. Yeah, Rucker for me, again, much like Tyler Adams, I didn't think Rucker had a really good game yesterday, but you're not going to get that every single week. But for me, they just work so well. They complement each other so well. It's a real plus point for me and our team, and that's what I mean. If I see one of them in the starting lineup without the other, I'm going to be like, oh God. So who's coming in? Who's coming in? Oh, please. Changes everything for me. Changes everything. Right, listen, oh my days, it's been going for 58 minutes. Listen, I'm going to wrap up pretty soon. I'm sure everyone else has got other things to do. I just wanted to come on and just give my thoughts a day later because, like I say, the video yesterday was not great. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great video. I couldn't give you therapy because I needed therapy too. But I think I've got out a lot of what I wanted to say today. And listen, people that have been in the chat to you, and shout out to everyone that joins me on these. It's never, trust me, I'll never take it for granted. Never ever take it for granted. So shout out to everyone here. Give me your thoughts as well in the comments after the video. And for people watching replay, do the same as well. Let's have a look. Jody's just saying something about the under 21s. Let me just have a quick look while I'm online now. Okay, yeah. So the under 21s are playing tonight against Sunderland, and yeah, Gelhart, Nanto, and Perkins are starting in this one. So is JB, so is Mateo Joseph, Drame. Yeah, so all of these guys are getting their minutes in the under 21s. Hopefully they give an opportunity in the first team. I'm sure they'll do brilliantly tonight because they did excellent last week. They're too good for that level. We need to see if they're good enough for the Prem level. Snoop Huggy White, please behave yourself. We do not want that. I don't want to put you on timeout, but I might have to. You know, I'm trying to forget some of these players. But yeah, listen, thank you everyone for joining me. I'm going to leave it there. Of everything I've discussed, and there's been quite a bit, I know, but there is a lot to talk about at this point in time. Give me your comments in the video after the game, after the video is done. Hit a like on the video, please. That is the best way to support the channel. Really is the best way to defeat algorithms on here. So yeah, please, and I appreciate all of your support. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video later on this week. See you in a bit, guys.